first? Ladies. Who's first? Ladies. Who's first? Lady. What time is it? It's time for the ladies. 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 It's the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew. It's time for the ladies. 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 It's the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew. L-A-D-I-E-S, I-E-S, I-E-S, L-A-D-I-E-S, and we're up first. L-A-D-I-E-S, I-E-S, I-E-S, L-A-D-I-E-S, and we're up first. Speak what you want. Be great. Speak what you want. Be great. Speak what you want. Be great. And we're up first. Bonjour, unbossed. Bonjour, unbossed. Bonjour, unbossed. And we're up first. Yes, ladies. That's dope. Yes, ladies. That's dope. Yes, ladies. That's dope. And we're up first. It's time for the ladies. 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 It's the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew. It's time for the ladies. 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 It's the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew. One time for the ladies in the house. Two time make the people scream and shout. LaShell, Chandra, Crystal with Nikki Unbossed, Ed May, and Nikki. L-A-D-I-E-S, I-E-S, I-E-S, L-A-D-I-E-S, and we're up first. L-A-D-I-E-S, I-E-S, I-E-S, L-A-D-I-E-S, and we're up first.
I hype me up, I gas me up, I hype me up, I gas me up, I hype me up, I gas me up. Take up space, sis. Got my room with this. Take up space, sis. I got my room with this. I'm a trip for this. They cannot resist. The space is on the biz. Take up space, sis.
Hey, what's up, Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew? How are y'all doing this Saturday? Happy Saturday. I had to start this off, y'all. I heard this song by Tony Jones called Take Up Space, Sis. It's all about uplifting and us taking up our space and doing what we need to do for ourselves. Remember last week, Nikki Unbossed said we got to show up for ourselves. And then after we show up for ourselves, like Lachelle said, you grab a sister, have them grab a sister. It's all about taking up our space and being what? Unapologetically great, which leads me to who our Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew lady who it's going to be today. Drum roll. Who's up next? Who's up next? Who's taking up spaces? Hey, y'all, I gave y'all a hint on who's up next. I had the best conversation with my sister the other day, and I can't wait for you guys to hear who it is. I know y'all like, who it is. I gave you a hint, and I even learned some things about her that I didn't know. And every time I speak with her, I'm in her presence. It's the moment I've met her. I feel taller. I feel that much more bold. I find myself walking around all day saying, I am great, be great. I'm giving y'all hints. Y'all, without further ado, this week's Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew member, Lady of the Hour, is our very own Chandra Prophet Audrey. All right, Chandra's up next. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew. It's your girl, Nikki Unbossed. And guess who I have with me today? Chandra Prophet Audrey. Hey, we call her the Maven. You know why we call her the Maven? Because Chandra does everything. I mean, we all do everything, but Chandra does everything and she does it well. She's an entrepreneur. She is a Broadway performer. She's a mom. She's a wife. She's a really great friend, daughter, sister. And she's unapologetically great at everything she does. Hey. What's up, boo?
What is up? What an introduction. Jeez. Dude, I gotta like live up to that. Jeez.
You deserve all of that. You look beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm tired, but I feel good.
I know you're tired. That's you know, that's what happens when you're the Maven.
So I'm good. I'm doing well. And
Good.
I'm pressing along.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
You know, I got this purple lip today.
It's so pretty.
Thank
looks
you.
really purple because your shirt is like purple too. So
like I'm on the fence with it. It was cute when I put it on in the bathroom, and I was like, anyway.
You shades of purple. It's really, really pretty. Your glasses, then your lipstick, then your shirt. So it works. It works well.
So glad to have you on, Shani. So Shani, tell everybody a little bit about Chandra Prophet Audrey. I mean, I was thinking about you, of course, this weekend because the Tonys were on, and we're gonna hit that a little bit. But tell everybody a little bit about you, where you're from, what you're doing, all that good stuff.
Okay, well, I am Chandra Prophet Audrey, as some of you know or may not know. I am originally from San Diego, California, and I relocated to New York. Like 12 or 13 years ago now, to be a Broadway performer. Hallelujah. And in that journey and transition, I mean, life has happened. A lot of life has happened. I moved here as a oblivious, I traveled before moving here because I modeled and stuff like that, but I just wasn't attached or I don't know the exact word I'm looking for, but I just wasn't in it. Is a better word. I did a lot of traveling for modeling prior to moving to New York, but if someone had asked me before, like, do I regret anything in life? And I don't necessarily say I have regrets, but I do, if I have to narrow it down to one thing, it would be, that I didn't really experience all the experiences that I've had. I've had a beautiful trajectory, career, and things, and I can barely tell you about them. You know what I'm saying? Like I can tell you about them, but it's to a degree. It's not like I experienced it. So when I moved to New York, that was one of the things that I really wanted to change, was to like really experience the experiences that was happening to me. And boy, have I experienced like since being here in New York and being on Broadway and being in this industry or this community of performers or artists, activists. It's been a journey. So Chandra Prophet Audrey is someone who's very passionate, who's very involved, who's very steadfast, who's very your good friend. I'm that friend that pulls you literally up out of the mud. I'm like, nah, girl, get up. We gotta go. But I'm that chick. You know what I'm saying?
You that chick. My experience of you are really great. You are that chick, and you're a really great friend, and you have a really great way of being honest. And for me, I can trust people who are honest. Being honest and straightforward with love. Does that make sense? I know people in my life that are honest and straightforward. And it's like, you do it with a very, no wonder you're such a wonderful mom. You remind me of my mom. It's very much like, okay, yeah, we're going to get up out of these dirt and da 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 and da 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 da. And you're like, yeah, yeah. So you have a really great way of being honest and true and uplifting and supportive and loving at the same time. And I think that's a special talent. And I love that about you. Can you hear me? Johnny, can you hear me? You hear me?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
I can hear you. Our connection is kind of. Is it raining by you? It just started raining by me.
Right by me too. Yeah.
I think our connection kind of went out a little bit, but I hear you.
Did you hear that wonderful thing I said about you?
I did, and I appreciate it.
No, I mean that though. I remember when we first started training together. I have a tendency I can be in a space where you think you know everything about me because I come across to be very open, and I am open, but not like that from the jump. And with you, it was like I was an open book from the jump. The comfort level that you have with you is just wonderful. So I'm grateful for it. And I thank you. I thank you. I thank you for that.
I think you know what that I think that's a trait that I picked up from both of my parents. My parents are ministers, pastors. I'm a PK, born and raised in a church. And so like I always tell people I have a heart for people. And I think that was something that my parents gave to me, because both of my parents have a deep, deep, deep love and heart for people. And they, taught us really well how to navigate people and empathy and feelings and different things like that really young because we were church kids and they were the pastors, so we had to deal with everybody and all their issues or problems or whatever was happening. But I think I out of my siblings took it on very deeply because I'm like closest to my parents, I guess, in that in how they act. And I take that compliment like to heart because I appreciate that, because I think that a lot of people miss being able to really make people feel comfortable. And like, we walk around a lot of times feeling uncomfortable and feeling like we always have to like, make sure we're in check and make sure this and make sure that. And so I try really hard to make people feel comfortable and feel like they can just like let their hair down all the time. So I appreciate that compliment.
Well, we can't
Let it down, honey.
Look,
Rapunzel.
let it down. You talk about families. How many siblings do you have? And you're the youngest, right?
Youngest. So it's 4 of us. But again, we were preacher's kids, and my parents, I don't remember our house being empty ever. So growing up, it was at one point, it was 7 of us because my parents not took in, but my parents' best friend was in the military and didn't want to keep moving their kids around. So their 3 came and stayed with us during the school year. And so it was 7 of us, and I was still the youngest. But it's 4 of us. I have 3 elder siblings, 2 boys and 1 girl, and they are firecrackers, all 3 of them. You think I'm a firecracker? Be my sister. Be my sister. But yeah, my sister's military. My brother is a teacher. My other brother is an entrepreneur. So
What's
we're
the age?
all over the world, different things.
What's the age
So
difference?
we're stair steps. The biggest gap is between my sister and I, but it's like my sister. So my parents lost a child between my eldest sister and my eldest brother, but we're all with that missed child. We're all a year and 7 months apart. So
Okay, all right.
everybody is about a year and 7 months, 7 to 8 months apart from each other. So like at one point, we're all like, 1, 2, 3. Then my sister was 5. So we're
Wow.
like literally stair steps. So I tell my mom all the time, like, how in the world? Like I just have one. Okay. I'm like, how in the world did you have 4 in diapers at the same time? All at home at the same time. I don't know. I tell them all the time, I'm like, girl, I don't know how you did that. Girl, I don't know how any parent of multiple children at one time does it. Like it's amazing. And I call my mom all the time, like, I apologize. I love you so much. Thank you. Because Callie be doing backflips. Okay.
Speaking of Callie, you are the mom of a wonderful firecracker, Callie D, who is also an honorary Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew member. How has motherhood been, Chandra? Now, how old is Callie now? 3?
Mm-hmm.
How has that been, and how has that changed you, and how is that added to your life?
I mean, it is the most, I actually lose words because motherhood is the most um, rewarding and taxing responsibility in life. But it's something my mom, I was talking to my mom not too long ago, and was I was having a hard time, and she was just like, speaking into me, and she was just saying, like, children come here to literally fill in the blanks for you, basically. And she shared with me like what I brought to her, what my sister brought to her, what my brothers brought to her, and she was like, you need to, like, relax and realize what Callie is bringing to you guys, or what you were lacking prior to her being here. And I just like I broke down, because I'm like, this little girl has brought so much clarity, love, light into our lives. I consider myself to be a pretty patient person, but Callie has taught me another level of patience that I have didn't even know I needed. She's grounded me so much. Um, there's something I read that says, your first child, if it's a girl, that they come to mature you.
Mm.
If your first child is a boy, they come because you need to be loved. You need to really understand love. And it was interesting because I never felt unloved from my parents or from people around me. I've never felt that, but I definitely feel and understand the maturity thing. When I got here, it was like all bets are off. Like like, things that I would let slide, I'm like, oh, absolutely not. Like my level of no. Someone asked me not too long ago, what's my favorite word, and I was like, no. No is my favorite word. And it like shocked him. He was like, what? What do you mean? I'm like, because we're programmed to say yes all the time.
Ooh,
Yes, I can, and you don't have the capacity to do it. Yes, I'll make room for it, and you just don't have time, and you just, end up lacking something else because you said yes to that. Yes to something that you just feel like, oh, I really don't want to do it, but because it's Nikki, I'm gonna do it. You know, you just always are saying yes. And I was like, after I had my baby, I was like, absolutely not. No, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, I don't have the time. No, no. Can you no? Before you get it out your no. And I pride myself on being like that friend that does, you know, you can always count on, you can always count on this. But I had to learn when it didn't happen until I had Callie. I had to learn that I can be a loyal friend and still say no.
Yes, yes, yes.
I can be a loyal wife and coworker and all these things and still have the capacity to say no, not right now. I'll come back to it. Can we do it in next week? You know, it doesn't have to happen immediately. And having a child really put that into perspective. It's because that child's needs comes first all the time, you
Yes,
know?
yes, yes.
And forces you to be like, ooh, I can't do that right now. You know, so that's probably the biggest lesson that I've learned, but it's completely changed my life and matured me for real in a way that I didn't even know I needed maturity.
I love that. Ah, I love that, Johnny. I'm just thinking about myself. Ooh, let me have a child. I'm gonna be saying no to everybody.
It's real. It's real. My wife before Callie, she always be like, you're pulling real thin this week. Like you doing a lot. You know, somebody pulling you this way, some pulling you. And I always be like, it's fine. Like I can do it. I'm energized. Da, 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 da. And be on my wits end,
Mhm.
you know. But because I'm a loving and giving person, you know, people take advantage of that quality of you and will always ask of you because they know you'll come through, you
Mhm.
know, you'll do. And after having Callie, I was just like, I can't be pulled to the bitter end and have nothing left for my child.
Right. You have a very innate maternal spirit. Those of you back home, I don't know if you guys know, Chandra is very tall. She's like, how tall? 5'11", 6 feet. How tall are you?
I love it.
Yeah, she's 5'11". She's very tall. She gives the best hugs. You know, I'm not that tall. You know, I got tall energy. So, you know, whenever she like hugs me in your spirit, it's very maternal, very protective. And I understand why people come to you, but I love that you are like, no, maybe next week, or no. I love that. And a lot of that, for I want to say, being honest and forward and unapologetic comes across so much on our show. I truly believe well, all of us are such assets, but Johnny, I have to be honest with you, people hit me up all the time. And you know, everyone has their people that they connect to. People hit me up all the time. That day when you said, and I am unapologetically great in everything I do, I have to send you some of the messages. My email for the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew went crazy. And I remember, I have to share this with you. I do my morning, greet the morning. What I write every day since then, I'm unapologetically great at everything I do. And so I thank you for bringing that and saying that and having us stand up and recognize that. And where does that come from? Did that just come? Were you always like that, or did it come after Cali? Just
A little bit of both. I was raised very like, you are amazing, like you dim your light, like we were definitely raised like that. However, it wasn't until I was grown and really experienced life on my own and moved into spaces that I dimmed my light on purpose and like that feeling of just like, ugh, like why did I do that afterwards? It never felt good to me. And
mm,
um it wasn't until I was here and moving in and out of spaces that, to be honest, like Black women are silenced. And it wasn't until I was in a situation where I was kind of like, be seen and not heard. And I was like, excuse me? Do what? Who, me? Oh, I don't do that. What? And so that, I think, and that wasn't too long ago. That was like, maybe 5 years ago or something, that I really took a hold of that, because of that situation. It was, a lot of injustices happening, and I mean, to be frank, I was just in a situation where I was told that my work took precedent over my beliefs. And I was just like, absolutely not.
Right, right, right.
Before they know who and what I do, they see me.
Mm.
And so if I walk into a room silent and they just look at me, I already have a judgment or something like that, just about off of my presence. And so when I walk into the room, I never put my head down anymore. I used to kind of like walk into a room like trying to see and like, mm-mm. I walk into a room head up. I mean, I'm tall, so you're gonna see me anyway. But there's a body language that you can walk into a room with that already says, okay, don't talk, don't mess with her, or like, let's treat her a certain way. And after having that experience, it just really made me perk up and say, oh, no, 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 you're not gonna treat me like this, or I'm not gonna stand for being treated like this. And I don't want anybody else to think that they can treat me
Right,
like
right.
and so it just kind of stuck with me, and um kind of like moving through learning how to like do affirmations and learning how to manifest things in my life, and really taking on that. Like Lachelle has been such a blessing into my life, like, but really learning and understanding that mantra kind of like really grew bigger and bigger and bigger, especially being a performer, because you're walking into spaces and you're already criticizing yourself because you might hear somebody else, and you're already dimming your light because of who's around or who might be in the room or whatever and whatnot. But it was something about learning how to really manifest and really how to just hold space, that made me feel that made that mantra for me really grow and be big, and understand like walking into spaces, being unapologetically yourself, being unapologetically great at everything you do isn't a fail. It isn't a fail. It isn't a black backlash on somebody else's talent. It isn't a backlash on somebody else's beliefs. It isn't a backlash on somebody else's anything. What it is you being you 100%. And if they can't take that, then that's not the space for you. And that's really what I hold on to strongly. And I tell my friends all the time. My best friend just did a show down in North Carolina where he was the lead. And it was a story of Martin Luther King, like the last I think the premise is like the last 48 hours of his life, and it's kind of like going through the things. But all that to say, he's the lead, and he's in front of the people. He's the lead of the show. And I would tell him every night, I'm like, be great, be unapologetically great at doing this, because you are in front of the people, you are leading these people, regardless of if you understand that concept or not. You are leading the people, because you are the lead of the show. You are leading these people, so they are watching everything that you do, every on stage, off stage, when you go to after the shows, when you do everything. Be great, because they're watching you. Everything that you do. And so I don't know, I kind of hold really tight to that and try to tell everybody, be great.
Speaking of being great, before we wrap up, I know I text you on Sunday. How amazing was it watching our brothers and sisters be unapologetically great on that Tony stage. I had no idea that Daniel J. Watts was about,
Shut it down.
I was like, he doing his poetry. Like, you know, I knew he was gonna tap. And then when he took the stage and blessed the nation, the world, with his skill set and who he is, and all of them were out there just, how did it make you feel, Shani? I text you, I was like, Shani.
Like, look at all this melanin popping.
and then, okay, can we talk about Amber Iman? Oh my God. We need to have her on the show. We need to have her on the show.
Text her and I was like, girl, can you stop, please? You are slaying these people, honey. I have two sides to this. Like on one breath, I am just like, absolutely. It was amazing. It was so beautiful to see so many Black artists being showcased, being, giving honor to them. It was beautiful to see. My issue is that it was a breath in time. The real test will be 2 years from now.
Are we gonna do this? Is it just gonna be?
Is this a fad? Is this just happening right now because Black
or yeah,
or is it a thing? Hold on one second. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We live, y'all. We live. Chandra has been talking with us and sharing with us who she is, her life, what she believes in. I get you guys' emails all the time on Chandra just dropped that nugget today, or Chandra just really made me think today. And one of the other things that I love about Chandra, I really believe she's very wise beyond her years. Chandra is the youngest amongst all of us in the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew. And when we have our Thursday morning meetings, she will just say, da-da-da-da, and we're like, oh, I didn't even think about it like that. Or sometimes we get all of us, not all of us, but some of us, including myself, get in this mantra sometimes. We're like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She's like, we're not sorry. She says, okay, this happened. All right, we recognize it. Let's move on. And she's also extremely organized. I can always count on her and Crystal to always make sure, Nikki, let's get this out, get this, get that. So, Chani, I was just telling them how you are the youngest amongst the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew, and you're so wise. Like, this is when I remember that she's younger than us, because her face be like this. Every time she come in, she'll tell you on Thursday mornings, I'm like, Chani, like this. I want mine to be like that. But I was just telling them how another wonderful trait about you, I was telling how some of us would be like, something to happen, we'd be like, I'm sorry. And Johnny be like, okay, we said it once, let's move on and let's move forward. And I found myself saying that with a few of my girlfriends the other day. They kept saying, Nikki, I'm sorry. I was like, okay, we did it once. Oh, if I need, we did it once. Okay, not that deep. Let's keep moving forward. And I was like,
a little shot rubbing off on you. Yeah, I don't know. I thank God for my parents, because I am literally like the good parts of both my parents. Because that's how they are. My dad used to always be like, stop saying sorry. And I told you that about Callie. I don't know where we learn that from. And I mean, we say sorry for the dumbest things.
And
like, it's something to you. I'm sorry. No, excuse me.
That's what my mother like when I had gotten into this space where I was saying I'm sorry all the time, my mom, it's so funny, the people that I surround myself with, even my man, have very much Miss Pat traits. And as I get older, I find myself adopting a lot of her traits and being very proud of it. But I remember going home and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. No one's like, why are you saying excuse me? That's it. Keep it moving. Let's go. You know, and the same thing, I remember that story you talked about with Callie. And I remember hearing that story just reminded me of, yeah, sometimes I do have a tendency, you'd be like, oh, let me just skip her. And I've been like, keep it walking. And ironically, I thought about you the other day. I almost text messaged you. There was a young girl of color. I don't know who she was. She wasn't Black, but she was something. She was walking past me. I told Crystal about it. She was walking past me. She was like, excuse me. I touched her. I said, you're beautiful. She was like, thank you. I was like, girl, we got to keep our heads out. We don't do no excuse me. She goes, I didn't want to be in your way. I said, and if you were, I get to choose if I want to move around or not. And she was like, oh my God. And then she hugged me. And then she went, I'm sorry, I don't have a mask on. I said, I was going to share that story with y'all on Thursday. But yeah, but that was me because I saw her. She was stunning. And she was just walking down the street and she got close to me and it was tight. And all of a sudden she did that. Oh,
which is, I don't know who taught us that? Who taught us that? I don't know, and I don't understand, and I'm like single-handedly trying to reteach that aspect of life, because there is no reason that you should in a split of a second feel this and this in the same second. Like,
and she was just like, and then they got close and I saw her walking, you know, I was smiling and she was like, oh, and I was like, girl, I just grabbed, like, no, let's just keep it moving. Before we wrap, Johnny, I wanted to share with the audience, although we've talked about today being great, I love how you are instilling that into Callie very early. I want you guys to make sure you are following Chandra on Instagram at Chandra Prophet. And she and Callie doing their affirmations in the morning. And Callie's like, I am beautiful. I am courageous. And I am happy. I love how you are instilling those traits into her at this time very early, because we all know those are the things that are going to be with her as she continues to grow through life. And I love that. As we wrap up, share with us what you would like. What would you like for us as the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew and as the sisterhood and the viewers to do next as we move forward through the rest of our season? What would you like to see happen? What would you like to see come up next? All that good stuff.
What would I like to see happen or come up next? I think just the aspect of community, to get more involved with our audiences through social media, through meet and greets, and different, just to be more involved, because there's a connection that you have by seeing someone on a show or having a favorite person, but there's a different connection when you're able to actually interact with them. And so I would love to grow the sisterhood by more interaction in person and on social media. If people don't feel comfortable being in person, because I don't 100%, but I will definitely feel, group things. I don't know, just more interaction. My love language is quality time. So I'm always like, well, whatever we can do it all together. It'll be fine. So, yeah, just more community. I feel like we do a lot already. And I just think growing our sisterhood would be the next step. And growing it means to expand our community. And by expanding the community, we can get what you say, bring a sister, have a sister, bring a sister.
Well, first, we got to show up for ourselves.
Bottom line, honey.
And then Shelly was like, then you grab a sister, and then you have a sister grab another sister, and then another. But I'm so glad you said that, Shani, too, because I'm putting this out this week. I am putting the charge out to our community. If you are someone that's a social media person and loves to do social media, please contact me. I'm gonna put it all up. You probably see it right now coming up. And then also, we're looking for a producer. We are looking for someone that can support us and assist us as we go through our show and putting up graphics and everything. You know, we're making this a community effort, a sisterhood. I am putting it out there because, as you can see, last Saturday I had a glitch. And I thought about Pastor Lee always says, Nikki, sometimes you can't be the talent and the producer at the same time. It doesn't work. And was a prime example. Like Shani said, we want to expand our community. And one of the things that will support us and expand our community is getting support from you. We are looking for someone that can support us with our social media, someone that can support us in producing this show. So I'm putting it out there to you guys. Email me at nikki@getfitwithnick.com. I will put that up in the show notes. But Chandra, I want everyone to go out there today and be great.
Be great.
Johnny, tell them to be great.
Listen, y'all. Be great. I got cut off real quick when we were talking about the Tonys, and that was something I was going to say about it, is that regardless of how we were so unimportant 2 years ago, so unimportant 18 months ago, so unimportant throughout this whole pandemic, and then, you know, things are happening that is allowing allies, you know, I don't like that word, and other people to recognize who we are as a community, as a people. Regardless of all that, each and every Black person that stepped on that stage was unapologetically great. Okay.
Apologetically great. Did you hear when Adrian got up there and took her award, and she was like, and then did you see Audra come out with her I was like, come out with your braids hosting.
Listen, I'm like, we showed up, and that's what we do. That's what we've been doing. That's what we've always done. That's who we are as a people. The Black people are a great people, period.
Great.
We have been told and brainwashed and, you know, whatever in society to dim our light, but that was a beautiful representation of how great we are as a people.
It sure was. It sure was. And I got to do one shout out. I got to shout out my girl, LaShawn's. Did y'all see her walk out with her?
Hear about that, Gary? She looks so good.
I had the pleasure of
everybody. And that it's just like, that's how we are. We always step out. You know, Black people are always told that they're doing too much and, you know, all this stuff because, you know, we have on our Sunday best, as people say, you know, and I'm just like, that's who we are always. You guys are just now recognizing that. So of course you can ask us in the 11th hour to put on a show, and it will be great because we're great people.
Great people.
Okay. So that's what I just admonish you as our listeners, you as our community, Black, white, indifferent, everything in between, brown, to just continue to be great and show up great at all costs. Don't dim your light. Don't shrug your shoulders. Don't do any of that. Just stand up tall, walk into a space, take up space, and be great.
And be great. We're going to end on that. I love you, girl.
I love you too so much.
Mwah. Thank you. Be great, y'all.
I hope y'all enjoyed that as much as I did. Shonda and I had so much to talk about that we didn't even talk about Cali Girl Inc. We didn't even talk about Cali Girl Inc. Well, you know, we're going to hear more about Cali Girl Inc., you guys. To know more about Chandra and what she's doing, follow Chandra on Instagram at Chandra Profit and go to www.caligirlinc.net. She has all the great apparel, motivational, unapologetically great, unapologetically black. She has all of the great apparel. Go to her website. You'll love it. Stuff for you, stuff for gifts. Christmas is coming. Holidays are coming. Go check it out. And also, this phenomenal mom, entrepreneur, Broadway performer, and everything else also has a great YouTube page. And please go follow it. You see it right there. Well, y'all, Michelle kicked us off. Nikki Unbossed brought us in. Chandra is expanding us out. Guess who's up next? Only 2 people left, huh? I guess you guys got to stay tuned and figure out who's up next. Remember, keep showing up for yourself. Grab a sister, and then have that sister grab another sister. Remember, we will be back all together on October 16th. Isn't that right, y'all? Am I saying that right? October 16th? Yes, we'll be back all together October 16th. Have an amazing Saturday, you guys. Love you guys. Remember, continue taking action, going after your dreams. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Who's first? Ladies. Who's first? Ladies. Who's first? Lady. What time is it? It's time for the ladies. 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 It's the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew. It's time for the ladies. 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 It's the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew. What you want, be great. Speak what you want, be great. Speak what you want, be great. And we're up first. Bonjour, unbossed. Bonjour, unbossed. Bonjour, unbossed. And we're up first. Yes, ladies, that's dope. Yes, ladies, that's dope. Yes, ladies, that's dope. And we're up first. It's time for the ladies. Crew. 1 time for the ladies in the house. 2 time make the people scream and shout. LaShell,